Thank you very much, Zyrene. That's right. I'm joined by Bjergsen and Doublelift after a 3-0 victory over Cloud9.
3-1.
So
Almost.
3-1.
I mean,
my bad. It's just the 3 happened in a row. That's what it was. We shut the first one out of our brains. No, it's a 3-1 victory. Doublelift, I'm going to come to you first. I mean, you've been very vocal about the fact that you want to keep the TSM attendance to the finals alive. And with this roster, you've now taken the first step towards that by winning this quarterfinals. How does it feel to have won in that 3-1 fashion, recovering from the first game?
Yeah, after the first game, I wasn't feeling so good, obviously, because they had this double global comp that like really brings down your morale. Feels like you can't do anything. But the entire time, I just remembered our practice, and I think all of us just focused on like what did we do in practice that made us so good. And it would be a shame if like we embarrassed the TSM legacy. We didn't make the semis, we didn't make the finals, because this was supposed to be a really good roster, and we didn't show in the regular split. So we're just going to do it in playoffs instead. Well,
now, Doublelift, you're new to that legacy. Bjergsen, not so new. So, again, talk to me about maybe the weight that puts on your shoulders, knowing that, you know, this organization has gone so far every split, and that the expectation is there that you guys do so from both the fans as well as yourselves and the organization.
There's definitely a lot of pressure because people kind of looked at it as kind of like when Froggen was rebuilding Alliance. I was rebuilding TSM, and this is kind of like the team that I managed to pull out, and we didn't manage to show up in the regular split, just like Doublelift said, but I think all the players deal with pressure really well. It really just came down to finding out how our team dynamic worked and finding a good way of practicing, and I think that's something that we improved a lot towards in the last couple of weeks.
Now, that being said, you guys did have a tumultuous season. That was no secret. But given that you had the 2-week period to kind of retool as a team and get in, you know, to a room and discuss how do we practice better and how do we play better, Doublelift, what was the result there? What was the determination in terms of this is the issue we need to correct?
Oh man, there was so many issues, but I think the biggest one for me was just everyone was trying to make solo plays on our team because everyone was like individually really good and they're kind of used to doing their own thing and then their team playing around them. And then like after the regular split was over, we were just like, damn, we suck so bad. It was just like so embarrassing. So we kind of sat down. We were just like, we need to start making plays always together. Like everyone is all in on every play. And after the first game, we were just like, okay, we have to turn it on. And it felt exactly how it was in practice, where every single play we made, we were all committed to it, and we would just like always clap Cloud9 mid lane, and there was like just nothing they could do about it. So it feels good.
I think we, coming into practice, we just kind of had the mentality that every time someone makes a call, every time someone makes an engage, you commit. You know, we're gonna. I know a lot of teams say this, and it's also something we've said in the past, but we really went all in on this. Every time someone makes a play, you're going to commit, and we're going to lose a lot of fights, a lot of scrims off of it. But in the end, it brought us really close as a team, both in and out of the game.
I mean, I think the replay that Zyrene went over kind of served to show, and the casters made the comment that this is some of the most bloody League of Legends we've seen TSM play, and it kind of only serves to prove your point that as you guys are making calls, they were followed up on. I do, though, then want to ask about how the shot calling has developed for the team, as it is a more bloody and intense game, especially against the likes of Cloud9, who they're a team that also goes all in on calls. Whether they're right or wrong, those guys follow the calls. So how did that kind of develop throughout the series? Did you guys learn and adjust how those fights were going and the way and the tendencies that Cloud9 had?
I don't think we adapted as much to their tendencies as much as we adapted to our team comp.
Okay.
We changed from having a Zed to a Volkaz, which is a completely different comp. And we changed our comps pretty rapidly like throughout the series. So it was really just about how we wanted to play team fights and going off our practice. I think everyone just feels really confident in our team fighting. And as much as we could be worrying about them, we had really strong faith in our own, and that's why we just put focus on ourselves.
Now, you touched on the fact that you guys played the likes of Zed, Azir, and Vel'Koz, some very different champions. For you as an individual, Bjergsen, I know that there has been criticism to the mid lane, you know, that this isn't the team solo mid anymore, right? We've got these fantastic players that have the ability to carry in every role, so the spotlight, to a degree, has been taken off the mid lane. But you really kind of stepped up and were able to shine in this series, the 11-0 and 6 Zed. What is it specifically that has allowed you to kind of broaden that champion pool and get back to the versatility that we've known you for?
For me personally, after our NRG game where we lost, me and Sven just put a lot of time into duo queuing, watching replays together, kind of understanding how other teams play around mid, because it always changes through time. And going up against C9, we knew that if we didn't play well around mid, they were going to play well around mid, and they were going to get Jensen fed. So we knew that however the mid lane matchup was going to go was going to be important for this series. So I put a lot of time in with Sven and Yellowstar and just how to control mid, how to control vision, how do we translate our pressure. And it was really kind of going back to the old TSM, and it was really funny when we had, I think, 5 people mid at like 10 minutes, and I said, TSM is back, baby.
There it is. There it is. TSM is back. Doublelift, I'm going to come to you as well, though, because as this is a team, throughout this series, as a team, you guys kind of showed that a different individual can carry each game. We had the 5-1-7 Maokai performance from Hanser, where he became just an unkillable tank. We had the 11-0-6 Zed performance. I can't remember the exact. At one point, it was 10-0-2 Sven Skaren on Graves in this most recent game. What does that do for you as an individual, and what kind of confidence does it instill, knowing that in the first series of playoffs, each individual on the team was able to step up at a different moment and kind of pull you guys through it?
Oh yeah, this is kind of the TSM that people were expecting, and it was the one that I was really looking forward to. It's super motivating because when you're playing with people and they're just carrying you for games like Bjergsen carrying me on Zed, it's just like, you're like, wow, it feels good, and it's also highly motivating because you want to be that person. You want to be like solo killing people and making these big plays, but like our biggest focus was obviously on team play, but the fact that everyone was working so hard during practice in these last 2 weeks just was highly motivating for everyone. Like nobody was slouching or messing around.
Now, finally, I got to ask you guys, due to dynamic seeding, you will be going up against Immortals in the next round. I mean, this was a team that went 17-1 in the regular season. There's high expectations for them, as there are high expectations for you. I don't really... I'll go to you, Double for this one. What is the confidence level for you guys going in your ability to make it to that finals once again as an organization?
I mean, it's obvious. Like, we would never not made the finals, so.
There it is. I like the confidence. Well, gentlemen, congratulations on the 3-1 victory today. Super, super solid. Wish you best of luck in your next week of practice. For some final thoughts on that series, though, we're going to head over to the caster desk.